This learning segment is on the comprehension scale of visualizing. Let's look for a moment about what the research has to say about visualizing and how it helps with comprehension. In Mosaic of Thought, it says, proficient readers spontaneously and purposefully create mental images while and after they read. Proficient readers use images to draw conclusions, to create distinct and unique interpretations of the text, and to recall details. Stephanie Harvey says, when we visualize, we create our own movies in our minds. We become attached to the characters we visualize. Visualizing personalizes reading. It keeps us engaged and often prevents us from abandoning a book prematurely. She also notes that visualizing strengthens our inferential thinking. When we visualizing, we are in fact inferring, but with mental images rather than words and thoughts. Burmark says the primary literacy of the 21st century will be visual. Pictures, graphics, images of every kind. Our students must be able to process both words and pictures. And once again, according to the National Reading Panel, the data suggests that text comprehension is enhanced when readers actively relate the ideas represented in print to their own knowledge and experience, and then construct mental representations in memory. Visualizing is the ability to create pictures or movies in our mind based on what we read or what we listen to. And it really requires the reader to create mental images based on their prior knowledge and experiences along with the text they are interacting with. It helps to engage the reader more personally with the text. So why is it important to teach and practice visualizing with our students? First, it is essential for building reading comprehension, because when readers lose their mental picture, comprehension is lost as well. When kids lose that picture in their mind, this can be a big signal to them to stop and refocus. It actually helps them self-monitor. It helps the reader gain a deeper understanding of the text, which is what the Common Core standards really tell us is the big idea, to read deeply at high levels of text complexity. It helps students recall what they have read for a longer period of time if they can refer back to the picture in their mind. It also makes reading the active process it should be, and it makes that reading experience so much more enjoyable and engaging for the student. It makes the reading experience personal because our mental pictures belong to us and only us. Let's look at the best practices around teaching and developing visualizing. It's summarized below. First of all, start out by choosing text to share with students that is rich in descriptive language. It's easiest to start with fiction, as it's a little bit easier to create mental pictures around fiction. You want to model for your students your own visualizing during think-alouds. Help them see what you see in your mind, and do this often. When you're sharing read-alouds with your students and asking them to visualize, it's important that you be intentional about when to pause, what to emphasize, how you will read it, and also any vocabulary that may need developing ahead of time as you read. Make sure you establish a purpose for your students while they listen. For instance, tell them to draw and write what they see in their mind as they listen. Remind them there are no right or wrong answers, that they should just draw the movie they see in their mind and fill up the paper. Have students practice visualizing as you read aloud. During the read aloud, ask questions that will help lead the students to create mental pictures. Have the students share orally what they see in their mind with others and with you. Have students listen to a piece of text and draw what they see in their mind and share that with partners or small groups. Have them notice how they're similar and different from one another. That just really shows for students how visualizing makes the text personal for them. We all see something a little bit differently. When you think about having kids share orally what they see in their head, this is a good way for us also to take notice of what kids are seeing in their mind as we read. Are they seeing things that they should? It's a way for us to monitor understanding. You need to practice visualizing often with your students to help them develop their skills. then hopefully they'll move to doing it automatically during their independent reading to improve their comprehension. Here are some before reading strategies to help develop visualizing skills in your students. We want to help students see that the illustrations in the books can give them information that will really help them understand the text. One thing you can do is have students draw to show their background knowledge before you even read a book and share that. Students can examine illustrations in a book prior to the reading and list what they see, ideas, and things. This activity sounds so neat to me. Have students draw what they think happens between pictures and illustrations in the text. So have them think about, maybe they see a boy with a balloon on one page, and then on the next page they see the boy without it. Have them draw what they think happened in between. That really helps them create a mental picture of what's happening in the story. Another great idea is if you're going to be reading a book about some topic, for example, maybe wild cats, choose several pictures right from that book and copy them. Then choose a few other pictures that aren't in there, but maybe seem a bit reasonable that they could have been, and then some that are very obvious. Have the students think about the pictures that they think would be in a book titled Wild Cats, or whatever the book is you're reading, and have them sort those pictures into 3 piles. Things that they think they would find in the book, pictures they think would never be in the book, or things that they're not maybe sure about. Have them share reasons why they sorted those pictures the way they did. Then, after reading the book, have the students sort them again to confirm what they've learned. This strategy works especially well with nonfiction texts about certain topics. Something else you can have students do is ask them to describe orally what they see happening on each page in the book before they even start. Have them put it into words, noticing what is happening, messages, ideas, maybe how the pictures make them feel. This gets students ready and making pictures in their mind even before they begin to read the text. Have students visualize time periods, settings, etc., especially for nonfiction texts. Suggest things for them that you might want to encourage them to see in their mind that might prepare them for the book they are about to read. During reading activities that you can do to help students make connections between what they are reading and what is in their mind's eye are listed below. One thing you can do is help students find illustrations in the book and the words in the text that go with it. Have them notice things that are not in the text, but you see in the pictures, and vice versa. Have students draw pictures as they read of what they visualize, and then compare it to the illustrations in the book. How are they similar and different? This makes me think of when we read a book and we have a picture in our mind of that story and the characters and what happened, and then we see the movie. Often we're disappointed because the pictures we saw in our mind don't match what we saw in the movie. Have students sketch pictures as you do your read-alouds, especially with chapter books. Have them share what they saw in their mind's eye. How do these pictures compare to the few drawings in the book they might see? How do they compare with their classmates? Then make sure to discuss with your students how the movies in their minds of the text helped their comprehension. Some activities to do after reading are to help students use visualization to deepen their understanding of the text. Have students pick a character from the text. Have them draw it, maybe using descriptions from the book, including maybe how the character may act and feel. Have them sketch it the way they saw that character in their mind's eye. Have the students draw the setting of the story. Prompt students with questions that will help them with their visualizing. Try to get them to put onto paper what they saw as the setting of that story. Have students draw a picture of their favorite part of the story, or the problem and solution, or the main message. Have students share orally with a partner what is in their mind picture after reading or listening to a piece of text one time, but then have the students read it a second time. What can they add to their picture after the second reading? This can be done both orally and with a picture or a sketch. Here's some next steps to consider with visualizing. Consider what practices you have already used with regards to teaching and using visualizing in your literacy classroom. Think of what you can add to your toolkit, so to speak, to help provide opportunities for your students to use visualizing as a way to build their comprehension skills. Talk with a colleague or your team about what you plan to try with your students. Then make sure after using those visualization activities with your students, come back together and reflect on how it aided comprehension, what strategies worked well, what didn't work well, and make a plan for continuing those activities and practices in your literacy classroom.